I'm Rosie Baker, editor of AdNews. I'm here with Kerry Field, Chief of Talent at Mindshare, and we're here to talk about why people and culture is so important in the advertising and media industry. So, Kerry, you've been at Mindshare for around 20 years, if I'm correct.
Yes, I was born at Mindshare.
How have you seen the culture at Mindshare evolve over the time that you've been there?
Well, that's a really interesting question. You know, I actually feel like not much has changed with the culture. The culture is incredibly strong, and it's something that is very important to the agency and something that we work at on an ongoing basis. So I feel like it hasn't changed, it's just maintained.
So what's the most important thing of your role as Chief of Talent, and what are the most challenging things that you come up against?
So I'd say that the most important thing is the all-encompassing talent development. And that really is around making sure that people have career paths, that people know where they're going, but actually that they have the training and the support that go behind those career paths. But there's also an additional element in terms of making sure that line managers are equipped to have those conversations with their direct reports on an ongoing basis. Most challenging piece is managing the churn, and it's rife through the agency, as you would know, and so working with that churn, because it is constant and it is something that we just have to deal with, is quite difficult.
How do you tackle that? Because I mean that's one of the big issues that I hear a lot from agencies, whether it's at CEO level or right through the organisations, that churn is high and there's a lot of pressure on people. How do you tackle that and make sure that you're trying to retain talent within the agency?
So I think one big thing that we've seen change is a lot of incentives and a lot of benefits that have come in, and it feels to me now that that's just entry. That's just the cost of entry. Everyone does that now. So you really need to look at and dig into the reasons behind churn, and a lot of it is talent development, which is why the talent development piece is big and an important part of what I do. The other area is around the stress of the role itself. So it's making sure that people understand the scope of work that they're working to. The third element, I would say, is around staff engagement. And I think if your staff understand the company vision, and then from the top down you're living and embodying your kind of company values, that also goes a long way to keeping people engaged in the job that they're doing.
And so how are you kind of actively making sure that people know about the culture that you have in Mindshare? If it has such a strong culture and it has done for such a long time, how do you make sure that people know that from the outside?
I think that if you have a strong culture, then that does the job, because people talk about it, and I'm very happy to say that I do get it played back when I meet people for interviews. They always hear that we have a good culture, so I do feel that if you do maintain it and work at it, it helps, and people just naturally talk about it.
It sort of reinforces
it. Reinforces it, yeah, absolutely, because people start, obviously the wonderful world of social media, people post stuff and about their job and about what they're doing, and that kind of generates that PR at that level.
So when you're looking to hire, what's the most important thing that you look for in a candidate, whatever the role is?
There's a couple of areas. I think that they have to have the media skills, but then there also has to be the cultural fit. So we do a lot of work when we're bringing people in around making sure that people embody the values and can talk about and give examples of how they kind of bring those values to life in their working life.
And so with the industry changing at such fast pace, I mean, there's roles emerging that didn't exist 5 years ago, 3 years ago, 12 months ago, and that's kind of the future that we're looking at. So how do you look to hire talent and people and make sure they've got capabilities for roles that don't even exist yet?
I think what you have to do with these new roles as they come is look at looky-likey. What are the roles that are similar in terms of attributes and skill set? So if you take programmatic, for example, you find that a lot of people that work in programmatic at the moment have search backgrounds. So as they come up, it's about looking at what we need.
And so one other sort of aspect that is important in sort of ensuring that we have the next generation of people coming into the industry with the right mindset and right talents is attracting young people to the industry.
Yep.
I mean, we always say it's a young person's game, media. I mean, what's your views on getting young talent into the industry?
Yeah, I think the main challenge with the young talent at graduate level is that they just don't know what we do. It's the easiest role that I have to fill is at that entry level. So once they're aware of us, they come in. The MFA do some great work around talking to the universities and actually really lifting the awareness of what media agencies do. I actually think the real concentration that we need with regards to young talent is re-looking at how we progress young talent through the industry. I think at the moment it's very linear. And I think that people come in and then they want the next title and then the next title. I actually think we need to change that mindset to growth is about gathering experiences, and what does that mean for us? But it is a change of mindset, because there's so much opportunity across the agency these days.
Is that something that you're looking at actively changing how you do that with young people within Mindshare?
It's a project that I'm working on right now, is really looking at the impact of what does growth by experience look like, what's the impact that's going to have on the agency in terms of how we do promotions, how we remunerate people, actually the career pathing through. But hopefully what it will do will also help tackle some of the retention piece, as well as making people more rounded.
And one final question, why is culture so important in an industry like media and media agencies?
I think the culture, it's because we are a young industry, that I think that you need to have that strong culture. We spend a lot of time at work as well, so you kind of need to have a place where you feel inspired, that you work with great people, that you walk out of the office every day feeling like, yep, I'm happy to be here, and wake up in the morning and go, yes, I'm happy to be there as well. So yeah, I think it's because it's so young as well, it is important.
Well, thank you so much for your time, Kerry. Really appreciate you coming in and talking about that, because I think culture is such an important part of the industry. And you can join us next time when we'll be talking to Clinton Parr from Clemenger BBDO Sydney.